Thank you for having me here today. It's always stressful to be the last speaker. Well, my name is Tina. You can call me TL. I'm the founder and chairman of EggLogics. And today I'm going to showcase some of our revolutionary technology that will change the life of millions of women. And most importantly, we're going to announce one of our technologies that is going to be public today. Now, for women with fertility challenge, in vitro fertilization or IVF is the only option available nowadays. And the procedure takes around a couple steps. The first step is to have ovarian stimulation to get the eggs out of the body, followed by injection of sperm, having the embryo develop, and eventually implant back to the mother's womb. And hopefully we have a live birth in the end. Now, for the last 40 years, we have seen a picture like this for 40 years, meaning the success rate has been decreasing as the age increases in terms of live birth. Now, if you take a look at the IVF center all over the world, this data is pretty consistent. And what makes this situation worse is that if you take a look of the age group at over 35 years old, the success rate goes downhill year over year. And by age 40 or 41, okay, the success rate will be below 10%. So what does that mean? It means that, in theory, you have to take 10 IVF cycles to have a successful birth. That costs a huge amount of money and stress to women. So what accounts for this? Well, there are many factors. One of the factors we look at into is the eggs. That's why we call EggLogics, right? Now, if you take a look at the egg production, well, to explain this inferior performance on the older age group women, that could be due to the poor superovulation performance. So what you can see on the screen is, compared to the younger counterpart, the younger woman produces much more eggs compared to the aged woman. That's the first point. Now, what makes the situation even worse is that among all the eggs produced, they are not 100% usable. Only the green eggs, or we call mature eggs, oocyte, will be used for the IVF procedure. The wet one, or we call immature oocyte, will be discarded. And I can tell you, every single year, there are millions and millions of wet eggs are being disposed. All right? Now, what makes the situation even more complicated in this picture is that even though there's the green egg available for the older age woman, this green egg's quality is not equivalent to the green eggs in the younger counterpart. Now, in order to connect the woman's painfulness to the audience, here I show the case report of a 43-year-old subject. On the left-hand side, you see this is ovarian stimulation performance for this 43-year-old woman in 2020. And what you can see here is that there are a total of 8 oocytes collected. Now, as I mentioned earlier, not all the eggs are usable. Out of these 8 oocytes or eggs, only 4 are mature eggs. The others will be discarded because of the abnormalities, or they call M1, that means they're immature, they will be discarded. Okay? So the efficiency, you can say, is around 50%. Now, what happens after a year? After a year, similar number of eggs will be collected. 8 eggs were collected. However, this time, only 1 egg was usable. Okay? So that's a huge job of usable eggs for this particular woman, okay, which is very sad. So what I can conclude is, IVF is a procedure that is very painful. Oh, oops, can I go back? Okay. Painful and stressful procedure. All right, so that's why after I work on this project, I love my mom even more. Okay, so we need to do something about this. So that's why 7 years ago, we teamed up with 5 passionate professors to develop novel strategy to decode the aging of oocytes. Instead of tapping just on clinical science for the last 40 years, we tap on other disciplines, including regenerative biology, genomics, biomedical engineering, and bioinformatics. So that's why our solution is unique and revolutionary. And today I would like to showcase quickly what we have accomplished for the last 7 years by showing you 2 technologies, including EggBoost and EggCheck. So let's take a look at EggBoost. EggBoost is composed of 2 components. The first component is a microfluidic chip, or a proprietary microfluidic chip technology that allows 3D culture of the 2 discarded materials from the same woman, including the discarded immature oocyte and a unique cell type that we isolate from the menstrual blood of the subject. Okay? So the device will allow co-incubation or co-culture of this discarded material into a usable mature oocyte after overnight incubation. Okay? And in the end, you will have one more usable egg, okay, for the procedure. And I could say, based on our animal study and human study, up to 300% increase of oocyte will be produced with this procedure. And most importantly, the number of abnormal genetic events will be significantly induced, which is a huge deal for genetic disease prevention. Okay, so this technology is under clinical trial right now, and we are happy to have experts at CHK to work with us to continue this trial. Now, let's talk about something else. Now, for women that has not yet married, in Hong Kong, they are not allowed to have IVF. The only option available would be cryopreservation, or we call egg freezing. So egg freezing is not a rocket science. Basically, after the woman will get the oocyte collected, it will be freezed in the liquid nitrogen for years. And say after several years, when the woman get married, okay, they will proceed with the IVF as usual. Now, so what's the issue with this egg freezing procedure right now? The issue is, up on the time when the eggs collected, the only assessment method for this oocyte would be visual, meaning it's more based on the morphology. Now, can you tell which one would look best to you? No, right? I can tell you that both oocytes will be used for storage under the current criteria because they look round, they look perfectly normal. However, in terms of IVF success rate, they are very different. On the left-hand side, that's the oocyte isolated from the 45-year-old woman, okay, which is the success rate only have 2% or less than that. And then the one on the right-hand side will have a much higher success rate. So we believe that there should be something more precise for this quality measurement. And most importantly, under the current criteria, this result will be very inconclusive or confusing to the subject as well as the clinician. Okay? And most importantly, the investment for cryopreservation is not a small number. Okay? You have to undergo a lot of payment. I'm not going to go into detail, but the number is huge. And we also see there's a significant increase of demand for cryopreservation over the years. And we'll expect that there will be more and more women opting for cryopreservation. But then imagine, okay, think about this. At the time of collection or of cryopreservation, if the egg quality is bad, 5 or 10 years later, the woman will end up with very disappointing ending because the egg is not good, okay? So that's why we would like to come up with a more precise technology known as single-cell genomics. Starting 7 years ago, we start with the animal, okay? We developed the first single-cell assay on the oocyte, and after that, we work on the human subjects, and eventually, we identify a bunch of gene predictors that actually predict the quality of the oocyte. And we call this procedure as EggCheck. This is a very convenient, accurate method based on the gene information we collected previously and can accurately predict the quality of the eggs for the cryopreservation as well as the IVF procedure. And the nice thing about this setup is that it can be done relatively quickly. In 4 hours of time, the result will be ready, and it can be scaled up quickly. And most importantly, like what the speaker mentioned this morning, we can collect a lot of oil, the data from the subject, and so that we can refine our technology later on. And here's the use case. Like what I mentioned earlier, usually when the egg's collected, it will be proceed to the conventional injection, sperm injection. But under the egg check procedure, we will have the egg check in place first and check the eggs before the eggs is good in quality before proceeding to the downstream event of the IVF procedure. So this is a report that we just completed in June this year, and the report will clearly describe whether the egg is normal, declining, or abnormal. So in those abnormal cases, the egg should be not used for IVF or cryopreservation. Okay, so once the egg is good, it will be used as usual. And here's a quick comparison between egg check and conventional quality assessment. It's more accurate, less technical requirement, and the result variation will be much lower. And most importantly, it's not expensive. It's like a COVID test for the eggs. Okay? And that's why today I would like to announce that egg check will be open to the public, and we'd like to charge the public for how much? 10,000? No. We would like to charge free of charge, okay, for the first 200 customers, and hopefully we can give them a more precise information about their eggs before proceeding to the IVF. So here is the leaflet information. Your interest, feel free to contact us, and we are more than happy to share the information with you. And the take-home message here is that with EggLogics technology, we call excellent technology, that no eggs will be raised, and also bad eggs should be eliminated or screened. Okay? And hopefully with this in place, the IVF success rate will be significantly increase, and we will develop the idea of smart egg freezing. And on top of the technology, I would like to stress that our technology is totally compatible with the existing IVF procedure. We are not trying to disrupt the industry. We're trying to complement with the existing industrial procedure. So in terms of marketing, I'm not the best person to describe it, but we have the best people to work to help our business development. And we are starting to licensing our technology regionally from mainland to Southeast Asia. And hopefully, this technology will also help our national policy because our country is in need of more child right nowadays. And with that, I would like to thank for the supporting parties in this project, and hopefully we can fulfill more dream of the complete family, okay, for many parents. Thank you.